My marriage hit a wall a few months back. I've been in Atlanta visiting my brother. I chose to go to Atlanta because, of course, Martell and I have children together. So it's important, while I do need time and space away, it is still also important for me to be, in an area or a distance that's not too far, so that there's not an issue when it comes to exchanging the kids and custody and things of that nature.
The moment the rumors started spreading, fans of Love and Marriage Huntsville thought it was just another round of internet gossip. Social media had been buzzing for weeks with whispers that something major was happening behind the scenes. Some people claimed producers were furious. Others said cast members were secretly distancing themselves from the drama. But nobody expected the situation to explode the way it did. Then, suddenly, the headlines started appearing everywhere.
But there's still certain things we need to talk about.
No, go and keep going.
You're talking like that.
Yeah, no.
I don't want my kids to be around that.
Get out.
And every time Martell Holt does something, Melody, she runs social media and put my out there, but I haven't done that.
Martell Holt allegedly banned. Arian pushed completely out of the picture. And just like that, one of the messiest reality TV storylines seemed to hit a breaking point. Fans were shocked because for years, Martell and Arionne had practically become symbols of controversy within the Love and Marriage Huntsville universe. Their names carried scandal, betrayal, heartbreak, and endless public arguments. Every time people thought the chaos had finally calmed down, another interview, another live stream, or another accusation would reignite everything again. But this time felt different. This time, it didn't feel like entertainment anymore. It felt personal. It felt final. And what made the situation even more dramatic was the silence. Martell, usually outspoken and quick to defend himself online, suddenly seemed quieter than normal. Arian, who had spent years fighting public criticism and trying to defend her role in the story, also appeared unusually absent. Fans immediately noticed it. Blogs started asking questions, cast members began dropping subtle hints without directly saying too much, and before long, people started piecing together a story that painted a picture far more serious than anyone expected. Because according to growing speculation, producers had finally reached their limit. And honestly, some viewers saw it coming. Long before the alleged ban rumors started, the foundation had already been cracking beneath Martell Holt's public image. When audiences first met him on Love and Marriage Huntsville, he looked like the perfect husband, businessman, and family man. Together with Melody Shari, they represented success, ambition, and Black excellence. They were polished, confident, attractive, the kind of reality television loves to showcase. But behind that polished image was a marriage already fighting to survive. As the seasons unfolded, viewers slowly watched the truth unravel in real time. Rumors of cheating turned into confirmations, emotional arguments turned into painful confessions, and suddenly the man who once looked like a devoted husband became the center of one of reality television's most explosive scandals. The biggest shock of all was Arionne. At first, she was just a name whispered online, a rumor fans debated endlessly in comment sections. But over time, her connection to Martell became impossible to ignore. Their relationship turned into one of the most controversial topics surrounding the show. Viewers were divided. Some blamed Martell entirely for destroying his marriage. Others accused Arionne of knowingly stepping into a family situation that was already fragile. No matter who people sided with, one thing became undeniable. The drama was consuming everything. What started as a private affair became public humiliation. And for Melody, the emotional damage played out in front of millions. Fans watched her try to hold herself together while her marriage collapsed under public pressure. There were moments where you could almost see the exhaustion in her face. She wasn't just dealing with betrayal behind closed doors anymore. She was being forced to relive it every time cameras rolled, every time social media exploded, and every time another interview surfaced online. Meanwhile, Martell seemed trapped between wanting sympathy and wanting control over the narrative. One moment, he appeared apologetic. The next moment, he seemed defensive, angry, or determined to justify his actions. That inconsistency frustrated viewers even more. And then there was Ariane. What nobody expected was how deeply she would eventually become tied to the public fallout. Instead of remaining a private figure away from the cameras, she became one of the most talked about names connected to the franchise. Every appearance, every rumor, every alleged argument added more fuel to an already burning fire. Over time, fans started complaining that the show itself was changing. People who once tuned in for business success stories and relationship dynamics now felt overwhelmed by non-stop scandal. Conversations online became toxic. Arguments between fan groups intensified. Even cast interactions started feeling heavier and more uncomfortable. But here's the twist nobody expected. The drama that once boosted ratings may have eventually become too damaging to continue. According to growing fan speculation, producers reportedly became increasingly concerned about the direction things were heading. The tension surrounding Martell and Ariane no longer felt entertaining in the way reality TV usually markets chaos. Instead, it started creating backlash. Some viewers felt emotionally drained by the endless cycle of betrayal and conflict. Others believed the show's original message was getting buried underneath personal scandals. And behind the scenes, cast members allegedly became even more strained.
There were whispers that certain people no longer wanted to film around the constant negativity. Some fans noticed awkward energy during reunions and group scenes. Others pointed out that certain conversations seemed heavily edited, almost as if producers were trying to avoid making the situation even worse publicly. Then came the rumors that changed everything. Word began spreading online that Martell Holt was no longer welcome in the same way he once was. At first, people dismissed it as fake gossip, but the more fans paid attention, the more unusual things became. Appearances allegedly slowed down. Certain promotional moments felt different. Discussions surrounding Ariane also appeared to disappear almost overnight. And that sudden silence made people suspicious, because reality television thrives on controversy. Normally, networks lean into drama if it brings attention, so when viewers noticed what seemed like a deliberate distancing from Martell and Ariane, they immediately started asking why. Some insiders claimed the network wanted a reset. Others believed producers were exhausted by years of negative headlines attached to the situation. And then there were fans who felt the biggest issue was public perception. By that point, the scandal had stretched far beyond entertainment. People weren't just discussing relationship drama anymore, they were discussing emotional damage, family breakdowns, and the impact the situation was having on children involved. The audience had watched this story drag on for years, and many viewers started saying enough was enough. What nobody expected was how emotional the reaction would become online. When rumors intensified that Martell had effectively been pushed aside and Ariane was being kept away from the show entirely, social media exploded instantly. Some people celebrated the decision, arguing that the franchise desperately needed a fresh start. Others accused the network of using Martell for ratings only to distance themselves once the backlash became overwhelming. And surprisingly, even some longtime fans of Martell admitted the situation had gotten out of control. Because despite everything, there was once a time when viewers genuinely rooted for him. That's what makes this downfall so dramatic. Martell didn't enter reality television as a villain. He entered as a husband, father, entrepreneur, and charismatic personality people believed in. But scandal changes perception quickly. Every interview, every social media argument, every public dispute slowly chipped away at the image viewers once had of him. And instead of the controversy fading over time, it only seemed to grow larger.
The situation with Arian made everything even messier. For years, she faced criticism from viewers who blamed her for helping destroy a marriage. Supporters argued she was unfairly targeted, while Martell escaped accountability. Critics argued she willingly stayed connected to chaos that was hurting an entire family. No matter what side people took, Arian became one of the most controversial figures connected to the franchise without ever truly becoming a stable part of it. And that created another problem. Her presence alone triggered strong reactions from audiences. Every mention of her name reignited old wounds connected to Melody and Martell's divorce. Fans debated constantly online. Some demanded she be officially brought onto the show. Others insisted producers should keep her as far away from the cameras as possible. But what nobody expected was that producers may have ultimately decided the controversy simply wasn't worth it anymore. And honestly, that decision may have changed the entire future of the franchise. Because once viewers sensed that Martell and Arian were no longer being embraced the way they once were, attention immediately shifted toward Melody's growth instead. Fans began focusing more on her businesses, her music career, and her life beyond the betrayal storyline. In many ways, it felt symbolic. For years, Melody's identity within the show had been tied to heartbreak and survival. She was constantly being forced to respond to public humiliation caused by her collapsing marriage. But once the spotlight began moving away from Martell and Arian's chaos, viewers started seeing her differently. They saw resilience. They saw discipline. They saw a woman rebuilding her life in front of millions while carrying emotional wounds most people would struggle to survive privately. And that shift in audience perception changed everything. Meanwhile, Martell's public image seemed to grow more complicated by the day. Even when he attempted to move forward, the shadow of past scandals followed him everywhere. Social media users dissected his interviews, fans questioned his intentions, critics accused him of refusing to fully take accountability. At times, it almost felt like he was fighting a battle he could never truly win. Because once trust is broken publicly, rebuilding it becomes nearly impossible. And for Arian, the emotional toll appeared heavy too.
No matter what she said or how she defended herself, many viewers had already formed strong opinions about her years ago. She became trapped inside a narrative larger than herself. Every appearance sparked backlash. Every rumor reignited criticism. That kind of public pressure changes people. It isolates them. And while reality TV audiences often treat drama like entertainment, the emotional consequences behind the scenes can become devastating. What makes this entire story so sad is that underneath the headlines are real families, real children, and real emotional damage. Somewhere along the line, the scandal stopped being fun gossip. It became painful. The arguments became darker. The resentment became deeper. The public judgment became harsher. And eventually, it seemed like everyone involved lost something important in the process. Martell lost the image he once worked so hard to build. Arian lost any chance of quietly living outside public criticism, and Melody lost the marriage and family life she once believed would last forever. That's why these alleged bans and removals feel bigger than reality television. They symbolize consequences, not just professional consequences, but emotional ones too. For years, viewers watched this storyline spiral further and further into chaos. There were moments where reconciliation seemed possible, moments where healing felt within reach, but somehow new drama always emerged before peace could fully settle in, and eventually audiences grew exhausted. What nobody expected was how quickly public sympathy started shifting towards stability instead of spectacle. Fans who once tuned in for explosive drama suddenly began craving something healthier. They wanted growth, accountability, healing, not endless destruction. And perhaps producers recognized that shift too, because reality television may thrive on conflict, but there's a point where conflict becomes emotionally draining instead of entertaining. Once viewers stop feeling excited and start feeling uncomfortable, networks pay attention. That may be exactly what happened here. The alleged distancing from Martell and Arian feels less like punishment and more like an attempt to save the future of the show itself.
A reset, a chance to move forward, a way to stop the franchise from being permanently defined by one painful scandal. Still, the emotional impact of everything remains impossible to ignore. Imagine watching your personal mistakes become national conversation for years. Imagine seeing strangers debate your family online every single day. Imagine trying to move forward while millions of people continuously replay the worst moments of your life. That pressure would crush most people. And whether viewers support Martell, Melody, or Ariane, one truth remains undeniable. Fame magnified every wound involved in this situation. Nothing stayed private. Nothing healed quietly. Every argument became content. Every betrayal became headlines. Every emotional breakdown became public discussion. That kind of exposure changes people forever. And maybe that's the real tragedy behind all of this. Because underneath the social media posts, reality TV edits, and viral clips are human beings who likely never imagined their pain would become entertainment on this level. Now fans are left wondering what happens next. Will Martell eventually find a way to rebuild his image outside the show? Will Ariane finally step away from the public chaos completely? Will Melody continue rising while leaving the scandal behind her for good? Those questions remain unanswered, but one thing feels very clear. The era that once defined love and marriage Huntsville appears to be ending, and endings are never easy, especially when they involve broken trust, public humiliation, and years of emotional scars. Still, there's something strangely powerful about the way this chapter seems to be closing. Because for the first time in a long time, the focus may finally be shifting away from destruction and toward healing.
Maybe that's what viewers truly wanted all along. Not endless scandal, not constant humiliation, not another explosive interview designed to tear people apart, but growth, closure, peace. And perhaps the biggest lesson from this entire situation is that reality television fame comes with a cost many people underestimate. The cameras may bring money, attention, and opportunity, but they also magnify pain in ways that can destroy relationships, reputations, and emotional stability. Martell Holt once stood at the center of one of reality television's most admired marriages. Now, his name carries controversy that may follow him for years. Arionne became one of the most discussed women connected to the franchise, yet much of that attention came through criticism and backlash instead of celebration. And Melody Shari, despite enduring heartbreak publicly, somehow emerged stronger than many expected. That alone says everything, because sometimes the people who suffer the deepest betrayals end up discovering the strongest versions of themselves afterward. As this chapter closes, fans may continue debating who was right, who was wrong, and who deserves blame. Social media will keep talking, blogs will keep speculating, interviews will continue surfacing. But beyond all the noise, there's a deeper truth sitting underneath this entire story. Actions have consequences. Pride can destroy families, and once trust is shattered publicly, rebuilding it becomes one of the hardest battles a person can face. That's why this alleged removal from the spotlight feels so symbolic. It marks the end of an era built on scandal and emotional chaos. And maybe, just maybe, it also marks the beginning of something healthier for everyone involved. Because at the end of the day, fame fades, headlines disappear, reality TV seasons eventually end, but the emotional impact left behind on families and children can last forever. And perhaps that's the part of this story people should never forget.